My name is Claire Worthy, and I have been practicing since 2013 in this location. I started the practice from scratch. We are in a smaller town in the mountains of North Georgia, and it's become quickly a retirement community. People come here to retire because it's beautiful, the mountains, there's a lake. I chose dentistry. I grew up around it. My dad's a dentist, and I always enjoyed it. Never actually thought I'd be a dentist when I was younger, but I knew I wanted to do something where I was helping people.
Well, 3 years ago, Dr. Claire and I together bought this building and renovated it, and we started the practice from scratch again.
Starting the practice from the ground up, I never anticipated how much work it was going to be, and I don't think you ever really do know until you're in the middle of it. I am the kind of person that I want to do things with excellence, and I want to do them really well, and I tend to take on too much responsibility, and I was doing that. And I was getting burnt out really quickly, just even after a year and a half, 2 years, because we've grown so rapidly. There were probably 2 times where I just cried, and it was a matter of how do I deal with this growth and still move forward and not take on too much responsibility. And I would say I started working with the Scheduling Institute probably a year and a half into my practice. I received a CD in the mail from Jay, and I remember opening it up and I thought, oh, this is really interesting, and I immediately took it to my father, who's been in dentistry for a while, and I said, hey, have you ever seen this? This is interesting.
Probably 8 years ago, you sent me a little CD with an evaluation.
He was in a previous practice working for a dentist who received one of those CDs. They did not take advantage of calling the Scheduling Institute, but he told me, he said, I think it would be a smart thing to call them. We need to check into this.
I always kept that in the back of my mind, and when Claire started practicing, I shared that with her, and that's kind of how we developed a relationship with y'all.
When you're starting a new practice, you know that everything's not going right at the front desk every time, but you're also trying to build the clinical side of the practice too. So it was neat because I was like, wow, here I have an eye into what I can't always see and hear. We went through this period of time where everyone was really very hesitant to bring on more new patients.
When I first heard about Scheduling Institute, I gotta admit I was very hesitant. I had never been through anything like that.
Before, I would say we just did our best because there wasn't necessarily certain guidelines in the schedule.
One of the biggest struggles is most of my team members have never worked in dentistry before.
I ended up here because I met Dr. Claire and Dr. Mike at a restaurant I worked at on the weekends.
Really, prior to working here, my passion was not dentistry. It was the ministry.
I've been here since September. Had no experience in the dental field.
And so not only am I teaching them dentistry, but I'm trying to teach them how to be a member of a dental team and what that means. And so that's where the Scheduling Institute has come in and been so profoundly helpful.
We all are sponges and absorb. Dr. Claire is a wealth of knowledge with the Scheduling Institute. She just encourages us to learn and grow and be better.
As we went throughout the different trainings and everything, each time I was hesitant at first and then excited. So, but I do enjoy it. There's a lot to take away from it.
After having the Scheduling Institute, I feel like we are constantly aware of our focus.
It's grown on me since then, so it's a lot better now.
Some of the things I think I'm like, okay, that's not really necessary. Then I end up eating my words.
We started with 3 operatories, 3 treatment rooms, and now we're up to 6. As far as team members, we started with 3 other people besides myself and my father, the other dentist in the practice, and now we've grown to a total team of 10. We've gotten so busy that we've just consistently had to add team members so that I can take some responsibility off of myself.
When I first started, we were seeing a patient on the hour, and now we're seeing patients every 40 minutes. And so of course that has boosted production a lot.
So we typically have between 80 to 100 new patients a month on our high months. I would say generally it's closer to around 60, but it fluctuates a little bit, but we always have an influx of new patients.
They have come in and like given me energized me. And it's not just energized me, it's a synergy that comes from the trainers and it comes through the staff, and just it's been fun and exhilarating at times.
Scheduling Institute is not about your daily BAM. It's about us as a team growing together, learning proper verbiage, producing excellent care, excellent dentistry, and we all grow and learn and profit from it together.
As I try to get into hygiene school, she has gone over, above, and beyond, and Dr. Mike too. Like, I can't say enough about them.
I am thankful for the investment that she has made, that you have made, and there's just so much more still that I can't even see. And I think that is encouraging even when it's challenging or I can't always see what I'm doing correctly.
She saw in me things I didn't know. To know that she thinks I'm worth it at my age.
I owe her huge time. That's what I would say. I could never repay her.
I so appreciate the way you're focused, not just on yourself, but you're focusing on others. You're focusing on your team, you're focusing on the patients that come into the practice, and you're focusing on the community, whether they're part of the practice or not. You're living out a testimony in a life that shows that it's not just about you, but it's about what you can give back and how you can impact people's life for the better. And that blesses me as an individual, as an employee, and as your dad especially.
You know, your mind is like, oh, should I do this? This is a big investment, but it really is worth it. You're going to do well, you're going to succeed, and so there's going to be no problem, you know, making that investment.
To know all of us are empowered, knowing our doctor feels that we're worth it. That says a lot.